Joining me on set now to talk more about this is Rabbi Meir Azari from the Beit-Daniel Center for Reform Jewish Movement in Tel Aviv. Great to have you with me,
Shalom.
Rabbi Azari.
Nice to be here, always.
Yes. Tell me a little bit about why you felt you needed to do this conference, and it wasn't in English, it was actually in Hebrew.
First time in Hebrew. Usually when we're talking about relationship, we're talking about in English. And that conference was about the Israelis. We tried to explain to them how the brothers and sisters live there, why they, how they live there, their communities, congregations, synagogue. What is the difference between their synagogue and our synagogues? What they eat, what they sing, the music. We try to understand the whole concept of Jewish life in North America and try to explain to the Israelis that it matters to them. Usually we love to hear from them how they love us and what they do for us, but usually we don't hear the story of how they live and what we can learn from them.
And what is it you think they can learn from the American Jewish community?
We can learn a lot about Jewish spirit, Judaism in a modern era.
Jewish values. Jewish
values in a modern era. Women, all the story of egalitarian synagogues, women at the rabbinate, women at leadership position. We can learn about their communities, the ability to live together, sometimes disagree, but to love each other. When we travel, we meet them there. We see the federation, the organization, and in the end of the day, they know how to work. Our democracy doesn't work in that way. So maybe we can learn that as well. We can learn the initiatives that are growing there. How we can engage young Jews in Israel into Jewish life. They learn how to do that there. Not always, 100%. We know the difficulties, we know the problems.
But there's a lot of success there.
Yes, and we want to learn from that success. I'll give you one example. I'm traveling in the last 30 years between those two communities. I live here, but I work there from time to time. I teach, I speak. Debbie Friedman, you can hear her music in every synagogue. Every synagogue in the United States, Orthodox, Reform, Conservative. We never heard that music. That festival brought Debbie Friedman, I think, for the first time to the park in Israel. And I think we can gain from that. We can learn from that experience that they have there. Maybe they can teach us a little bit more about their challenges. Mixed marriage, well, you call it assimilation, but mixed marriage is something that happens here in Israel. More than we agree to admit how they handle that story, how to handle families that are mixed.
There's an irony here, right? Because one assumes in the land of Israel there's good Jewish education for young people, women, men.
Most of the women, Jordan and Israel, never saw a Torah open scroll.
Right. Well,
most of the women in Israel never had the chance to read from the Torah.
Right. Well, this is what I was going to say, but this is a vast misconception because people don't realize that religious life has been largely controlled here by the Orthodox, and that has had a
many
influence.
Israelis doesn't like it, and instead of embracing other options of Judaism, we stick to that option, and that makes many Israelis far from their Jewish values and Jewish life. And I think that American Jews can teach us that there's so many options. Pluralism is the name of the game. And by having pluralism in our Jewish community here in Israel that can be learned from them in North America, we can enrich our life. Women can learn from the Torah. We can gain more music, spirit. A judge like Ruth Ginsburg, her story. Judges like Brandeis, and I can give the list. People like Mordechai Kaplan, Avraham Yoshua Heschel. Heschel is the story of American Jewish life. His main book was published in Israel just in the last few years, for 70 years.
Ginsburg, right.
Yeah, we didn't know the book. We didn't touch the story, the spirit. And this festival was about opening the bridge, opening that channel, and we can gain so much. I endorse ourselves as Israelis. Don't be afraid. Hear the voices coming from the other side of the ocean. Embrace our differences. This is the story between us and them.
Embrace our differences and learn from each other. Thank you so much for joining me,
Thank you very
Rabbi
much.
Meir Azari from the Beit-Daniel Center, part of the Reform Movement in Tel Aviv. Thanks.